Hello producers. I'm out here in the field this morning, and you may have questions on your mind on maybe the condition of the wheat at this time of the year. It's mid-February, so we're just going to dig some plants up, look at the wheat, and look at some of the condition of the wheat. Hi, my name is Sandra Wick. I'm the crop production agent for the Post Rock Extension District. So let's take a look at the wheat plants and see what's going on out here. All right, let's take a look at this wheat plant a little bit closer. I'm going to talk about the tillering, the fall tillers, and the importance of that compared to our spring tillering that can happen in wheat. So let's think back to about when we planted wheat this last fall. We kind of had some weather conditions where the wheat was maybe planted just a little bit later than normal. So what needs to happen there is the producers normally will increase their seeding rate, which will help compensate for the late planting. So what we want to happen is a lot more of the fall tillering. And why is because this fall tillering, generally those tillers are the ones that are the more productive tillers that produce more of the yield for the grain. Okay? So what happens then is we are very dependent on Mother Nature. Now we hope once these fall tillers stay there that they're not winter damaged, and we have had some issues of some zero temperatures or some colder temperatures and no insulation or no snow on the wheat. So it's going to be a time wait thing to see kind of if there's any winter damage on the fall tillers that we have here. Now, spring tillers can help compensate for that, but we are there again dependent on Mother Nature. If we have the adequate moisture, plus if there's adequate fertilizer there. A lot of the producers out there may be wondering about top dressing and top dressing applications. So we are very dependent if the fall tillers don't produce, so if we don't get much fall tillering, that the spring tillers will come, but we have to have the moisture for that to happen. Some of the spring tillers can fill in and produce yields for it, but the fall tillers are really the ones that really are the high producing grain. All right, so let's take a look and see where this wheat was actually planted in the ground. And if you dig them up carefully enough, once you get all the excess dirt off of the roots, you can go down and find that actual wheat kernel, and I'm pointing to it right there with the pen. So as you can see, here's the crown area, which is at the surface, which the seed then is about a ½ an inch lower. So this seed was planted at about a ½ an inch. Okay, so generally the depth of wheat that's planted can be anywhere from a ½ an inch, even up to 1.5 inches. The seed depth or planting depth is really determined by each wheat variety. Each variety would have a certain coleoptile length, and so once you look that up, and then you can determine what depth you can plant, and it may be conditioned on the soil. Because it depends on where the moisture is. You may have to plant shallower to get into the moisture, or you may have to plant deeper to get into the moisture. We mentioned the cold period that happened like in December, and there wasn't much protection for the wheat, but actually that's part of the vernalization process that this wheat plant goes through. And what that means, that vernalization process for the wheat plant, is a acclimation of the wheat, that it transfers or stimulates growth from vegetative, which would be in the leaf stage, tillering stage, into the reproductive stage, which is into grain filling. Alrighty, let's take a look, a little closer look at the growth stages of the wheat plants. We dug up some wheat plants here to kind of show you some big differences in the growth pattern of the wheat out there in the fields. As you can see, this plant has a lot more tillers on the top here, and it's important to look at both the top of the soil and below the soil to kind of look at the root system and the tillering or the leaves of that. So if we look at this plant a little bit closer, you can see there's quite a bit of tillers on the top here, and quite a bit of, or pretty good root system there to sustain the top growth. If you go to the second plant, you can see we have less tillering and quite a bit less root system there to support the top growth. And then the last plant here, as you can see, has quite a bit less tillers and even less roots. It has the one main root, and then that would be it. So what we need to look at here is the different stages. This right here, of course, would be the tillering stage. K-State Research and Extension has an excellent resource for producers in order to at least review the stages of development of their wheat crop. So what the poster, it's an excellent poster that you can get free of charge at the Extension office. What it does is it identifies and shows pictures at the very first Feekes stage, which Feekes 1, or also known as tillering, and it goes through Feekes 3, which is also tillering. It also shows you up to Feekes 11.4, which is at maturity. This poster can be available at any Extension office. Stop by, either give us a call or send me an email. My email is swick@ksu.edu. Our website for Post-Rock Extension District is www.postrock.ksu.edu. We'd love to hear from you, so please like us on Facebook, and we will see you on the next Journey of the Wheat Plant.